Millions of people worldwide are inspired by the sound of Orthodox Christian chant and choral music. This music, produced by the human voice alone, inspires and beckons us to an otherworldly, heavenly reality. Welcome to the Orthodox Sacred Music Reference Library, a unique online resource of Orthodox liturgical music. For the past 40 years, its creator and curator, Dr. Vladimir Morosan, has been collecting each piece by precious piece, building an all-encompassing resource for musicians, scholars, and all lovers of beautiful sacred singing throughout the world. Thousands of works written for and inspired by Orthodox worship over many centuries, all gathered in one place, accessible to all. Such accessibility was not always assured.
Just 100 years ago, Orthodox liturgical music in Russia, for example, was threatened with destruction. The October Revolution of 1917 brought Bolshevik atheists into power. They persecuted the church and all forms of religious art. Access to liturgical music and archives was restricted. Publication and performance of liturgical music was banned for nearly 70 years. By the late 1920s, most churches in Russia were either closed or had been desecrated or destroyed. Church choir masters were actually blacklisted, and they were given a very stark choice: either completely relinquish all ties with the church and sacred music, or risk losing your job, being unable to support yourself or your families, and many of them, in fact, emigrated when faced with that choice. Sacred music ceased to sound in Russia. Well, I started collecting Orthodox music in the early 1970s. When I was a student, I was helped by many people, individuals as well as organizations, and I was the first American exchange student who attended Moscow Conservatory. I had a remarkable commission given to me by my supervising professor at the Moscow Conservatory, Klavdiy Borisovich Ptitsa. He took me aside one day and said to me, "You understand our situation here in the Soviet Union. We cannot even perform or study the sacred music of our ancestors, the legacy of centuries. So I charge you, Vladimir, take everything that you can possibly get your hands on. Take it back to the West and teach them how to perform this music so that it's not lost forever."
Vladimir filmed and photocopied thousands of pages of Orthodox church music, as well as books, monographs, and periodical articles. Today, the Orthodox Sacred Music Reference Library is the most systematic and comprehensive online collection of Orthodox liturgical music, numbering over 2,500 titles, with links to first editions, new editions, and audio files. It can be searched by composer, by liturgical service or cycle, by chant melody, and by chorus type. Using new editions published by Musica Rusica, leading choirs around the world have produced a string of Grammy-winning and Grammy-nominated recordings.
The Orthodox Sacred Music Reference Library and the Russian Choral Heritage Foundation have made accessible many authentic sources for Orthodox sacred music, opening up a whole repertoire for many musicians such as myself.
The Orthodox Sacred Music Reference Library is an invaluable resource. For much of my career as a scholar and performer of Orthodox sacred music, gaining access to the treasures of the Russian choral tradition was a painstaking process of seeking out rare scores one at a time. Thanks to the library, music that for decades was barely known even to specialists is made immediately accessible to all.
I may owe my career to Russian choral music. There is just something about the gravity of it that changes your spirit. We are very grateful to Vlad Morosan and everyone at Musica Rusica. Without their hard work, we wouldn't be able to sing any of this music.
The musical material found in the Orthodox Sacred Music Reference Library awaits further discovery by conductors, performers, and listeners.
I'm Vladimir Morosan, and I invite you to come visit our library. Come explore its virtual shelves, inspect its collections, and become a sustaining sponsor so that with your help, the Orthodox Sacred Music Reference Library will continue to serve choral music lovers for generations to come.